So it's been, well, if you're watching the sun, it's been just over 20 minutes here, but it's been about 20 minutes. We are hanging right in at 155 degrees, which is beautiful. Time to, without stirring, without any kind of pressure or otherwise exerted on these grains, remove them. This is a very important concept. A lot of people think that since they're making quote-unquote barley tea, they want to be dipping the bag in and out and messing around with it. Some people really like their tea, proper tea, that is, very, very tannic. They like to squeeze the tea bag out and drink it and make pucker a little bit. The problem is, if you do that same process here, the beer will do that same thing to you. It will make you pucker. It will be very undesirable. Probably one of the worst things you can taste in a beer, actually. So I'm just going to let most of this fluid run off. If we lose a little bit, no big deal. We're just, once again, trying not to disturb the grains much. Some kits with grains require you to sparge. This is not the case here. It will always clearly tell you if you require a sparge. The sparge, for the record, is running hot water over the grains. Really, truly do not do this unless you must. And this is done. So the next major step is to bring this water up to a boil and incorporate the liquid extracts. Since it's still very hot, we're going to put the liquid extract in and stir it up. Very simple way to do this. Once again, this is all pre-boil, so sanitation is not a major concern yet. However, temperature is enough of a concern that you don't want to burn yourself here, so just be careful if you do this the easy way. Having your liquid extract pre-warmed makes this flow a little better. Just going to pour this stuff. It's real thick. This is kind of like honey in consistency. This kit does not contain any dry malt extract. If we were incorporating dry malt extract, it's worth noting that stuff clumps up as you add it very quickly, so you do need to stir rapidly while you're adding it. Some people prefer to add some hot water to it and dissolve it first. To be completely honest with you, regardless of all the other tips I've seen, I don't find a benefit either way. It still clumps no matter what you do with it. The main thing is to make sure that if you are dumping a bag of dry malt extract in, you're rinsing it out pretty well, because the steam coming off of this will actually start it clumping in the bag before it even gets out. So just catching a little bit of fluid in here to make sure I really rinse this out. And I'm going to use the paddle for the remainder. And though there's no way to see this, it's kind of clumping up on the bottom a little bit, so it really needs to be stirred to incorporate. This is already about as dark as the beer is going to end up being. In this case, I've got a bag of extract as well. This is a very convenient way to get it in, rinse it out. Just going to stand a little here. As a side note, an apology to Brewer's Best. Generally speaking, this kit comes with 2 cans of extract. This particular kit, we had a can that ruptured when we dropped it, and it became our project for today. So we're just replacing it with a similar type of extract here. Just trying to get a little bit of fluid in the bag here. So we've got all of the extract in here. It's pretty well incorporated. And I just want to take a couple of extra swipes at the very bottom of the pot to make sure that I'm not getting any syrup still stuck to this paddle. There's a little bit here. Anything that's not really well dissolved in here is very likely to caramelize, whether you're on a burner like this or a stove top. You may end up getting some off flavors from that and a reduction in the actual fermentable sugars. It's very easy to taste caramelization in beer. It's kind of like a molasses note that just doesn't belong unless, well, you're making a molasses beer. Running pretty clean. We're ready to get some heat back on this and bring it up to a boil.